All right, so long story short, this should work. But there's not going to be the complete broadcast that you're used to. The screen you see now is what you're going to see for the entirety of the broadcast. So, but it works. So that's what matters, right? All right. So, and I just got a text saying it looks great now, and that's probably because they're the only person watching at the moment. There's a hit out into right field. That will score a run, and it will score 2 runs. Brookings has taken a 2-1 lead. They have 2 hits, and we're going to get caught up in the stat book here. Let's see who's batting. Number 9. Okay. All right, so before I give more commentary, I'm going to get caught up in my stat book here so I know what's going on myself. So runners on the corners, it is it was Owen Schneider on first. And then the ground out, and then or some sort of out, and then no run scored. All right, so I'm caught up. All right, in theory, it should be Matt Bryant who comes up to bat next here for the Stars. So it is now 3-1, 2-1. 2-1, the score on there is right. Bases are cleared. There are no outs since we're in the top of the 3rd now. I'll just take a quick peek between my binoculars and make sure that everybody's in the same spot as they were before. All right, so defensively, Brookings is set up the way I have it in my book here. And it is indeed Matt Bryant coming up to bat. All right. So my first 2 innings in my scorebook are going to look like crap, but innings 3 through beyond are going to be perfect. Now watch, I just jinx myself on that. So 1 run in the top of the first for the Stars, 2 runs in the bottom of the second for Brookings. And Austin Clark batting, and a bunt laid down by Bryant will roll foul to the left of the batter's box. Strike 1. That one's sent straight up. May or may not hit the roof here. No, it went over the roof. Wow, it feels so much better to have everything working smoothly. And we are in the wrong. Oh, that's right. I'm in there. I need to be in this button here. I should have said strikeout bandits, but we'll just pretend that that didn't happen. So 1 out now, and I'll bring up Caleb Christensen, who had that infield single last time he was at the plate. And the pitch inside, ball 1. Three and 1 now here to Christensen. Kobe Hansen awaits on deck. 1 away. And a hard hit ball that drifts foul. Full count, 3 and 2. Once again, for those tuning back in, I think everybody's tuned back in now. Yeah, I think we had 17 before I went off air unintentionally, and now we have 14, so almost everybody's back. There's a hit for Kobe Hansen, or Caleb Christensen, excuse me, into left field. It's good for a single. And now the Stars look to keep the scrolling here and tie, if not take the lead here in the top half of the third. Pitch is a little bit outside. And a strike is called. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim says it's looking and sounding awesome. That is so awesome to hear. In the previous streams, you may have heard me taking deep breaths into the microphone to prevent myself from saying things I probably shouldn't. There's a base hit, and now it's working out for the Stars, too, it seems like, as Kobe Hansen gets the one into shallow left center. Gunnar Majerus, who, if through all the frustration, my stats are correct, potentially reached on a fielder's choice last time he was up. So that's 5 hits now for Fargo. Only 1 run, but they're looking to change that here soon. Strike 1 to Gunnar Majerus. Austin Clark's pitch count is super unofficial at 42. And a fly ball. Center fielder John Kaler will get there, and that is out number 2. Runners will stay put. It's Caleb Christensen on second, Colby Hansen on first. Gus Pankratz the batter now. He's maybe 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. I'm not sure, to be honest. Strike one. So 2 away now. Stars have Christensen in scoring position if they can get another base hit. We'll see. That one's outside for a ball. It's 1-1. And that one's hit well left field, drops fair. Rounding third is Christensen, and will they send Hansen? No, they will not. But he will get the third. It's an RBI double for Pankratz. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, this is a tied baseball game. 2-2 on their 6th hit of the game. This is an RBI double by Gus Pankratz. And that one's going out to left field, and that one will drop. And they're going to send 2 runners around. Here's the play at the plate. He's out. But they did get Colby Hansen to score. So Colby Hansen's run will count, and that will be out number 3. And that'll send us to the bottom of the 3rd. And once again, due to the issues earlier, we're just going to keep it live. They're not playing music, so I don't have to worry about that, which is awesome. Not that I don't want music played, but so you get to listen to me. A big thanks to Frontier Airlines, Uber, Essentia Health, Sweet Shots, Dulo's Woodfire Grill, Buffalo Wild Wings, Applebee's, for sponsoring Fargo Post 400 Baseball, both the program and the broadcast. For a moment there, I thought I was at a Dakota Fusion game. Heard somebody drumming on what sounds like a plastic bucket. So Austin Clark, I'm sorry, I forgot to go to the other roster here. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. So Hansen scores. Gus Pankratz is tagged out at home. And that moves us to the bottom of the 3rd. So this is Addison Ronning. Takes a strike there, and it's 0-1. That one will miss for a ball, ball 2. Running to 3rd, nice grab by Hansen. He fires it over, 5-3. Out number 1 on the board. Now bring up Jack Merritt. Renus will set wind and deliver. And that's a hard hit ball, picked up once again by Hansen. He fires it over and gets another 5-3 as Matt Bryant was right behind Hansen for the backup there. Kobe Hansen able to snag it and deliver two 5-3 ground outs on back-to-back batters. And now we have two gone here, two up and two retired for Brookings, and it will be Winston Plummer who was hit by a pitch, and that's the last accurate stat I have for Brookings. So I know for sure that that one's accurate. Swing and a miss there, strike one. Pitch comes in low for a ball. It's 1-1. Did he check his swing? First base umpire says he did. 2-2. And there's a strikeout. And that will do it for the bottom of the third. We now move to the fourth inning of play. And once again, I want to thank our sponsors, including Sweet Shots, Doolittle Wood-Fire Grill, Buffalo Wild Wings, Applebee's. Don't forget, we got the state tournament this year here on MSPN Digital Television, and then we also have the regional tournament. State tournament will be at Starry & Bank Field in Fargo. The regional tournament will be at Young Field in West Fargo, and then next year, the regional tournament comes to Starry & Bank Field in Fargo. So we'll have the regional tournament for the next 2 years here on MSPN Digital Television. I'm pretty pumped up about that. It's always fun calling the local teams. Fargo West Fargo and all the opponents that we see regularly, like Bismarck and Dickinson and etc. But it's also always fun to get two teams that you've rarely seen, if ever seen, before, and that's when it can get really fun because you don't really know too much about the two teams, and you just get excited for whatever happens, and you can never be accused of not being neutral. Malachi Wurmeyer, it's the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 for the Stars. It's Wurmeyer, Neuarth, and Mathiasen that we'll see here in the top of the fourth. We're 50 minutes into the ball game. Austin Clark still on the mound here for Brookings. And that one's a high fly ball to right center field. And right fielder Jack Merritt will make the catch for out number one. So Wurmeyer flies out. Caden Neuarth, the batter now. He'll take the first pitch for a strike. 3-2 lead with the Stars getting one in the top of the first, the two more in the top of the third. And then sandwiched in the middle there in the bottom of the second are the 2 runs for Brookings. Pitch comes outside. It's a ball and a strike now here to Caden Neuarth. Once again, Kane Mathiasen awaits on deck. One away so far here in the top of the fourth. That is going to miss to the inside. Just barely missed, though, and it's 2-1. Three and 1. Hey, if whoever's pounding on that plastic bucket, if it's going to create a walk for the Stars, I'm sure the Stars fans won't mind that. And, well, it's sort of a walk. Hit by a pitch. It would have been ball 4 had he not been in the way. And here comes Kane Mathiasen now. And that one's going to be skied up. Zach Struck. Nope, make it the third baseman, Owen Schneider. Will come in his direction, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. So infield pop out for Kane Mathiasen to third base. And that'll bring up Matt Bryant as we return to the top of the order now here for the Stars. I'm beginning to wonder if that's an audio recording, because I don't see anybody out there banging on a bucket. Whatever it is, we won't get a copyright strike for it. 0-1. It's not annoying yet. At least for me, it's not. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pickoff attempt. He's back in time. Once again, it's Caden Newar standing over on first base. And high and in, ball 2. All right, I think everybody is back now, and as you can tell, if you've been watching for a while, we've got our issues resolved. It's not the way I wanted it to resolve, but it does most of the job. Let's put it that way. So thanks for bearing with me through that again. As if you happen to watch the first 2 or 3 video clips we had of this game, I was not as happy sounding as I am now. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that one's skied up, and he's not going to make it. It's going to go out of play. So it'll stay at 2-2. Once again, Caden Newar, the runner on first. Full count now here to Bryant. Caleb Christensen is the potential next batter here for the Stars. As they try and pick off Newarth again. At least I think it's him on. Make sure they didn't bring in a courtesy runner. Nope, it's Newarth. And a walk. So, runners on first and second with 2 outs, and here comes Caleb Christensen, who's 2 for 2 with a single to left and a infield single. In reverse order of how I just said it. I'll move Kobe Hansen into the on-deck circle. And just like in all previous seasons, the Stars seem to like to score runs with 2 outs on the board. They did that a lot yesterday during the game again, the 2 games versus Watertown. And though I don't have the exact number, I know they put a handful of runs on the board against Jamestown with 2 outs. I think it was only 4 runs, if memory serves me correctly, in the Jamestown doubleheader. But in the first game against Watertown yesterday, 5 of the 8 runs that they scored came with 2 outs on the board. We're at 2 balls and no strikes here to Caleb Christensen as Sam Johnson, the catcher for Brookings, walks up and shares some words with Clark. Three and all. And a walk will load the bases for Caleb Christensen. It's a 4-pitch walk. Kobe Hansen hit by a pitch and a single, at least I think. Like I said, those first 2 innings may not be accurate. So I had to punch in buttons to get caught up. And now it's 4-2 on the bases loaded, hit by a pitch. That's the second time in this game that Kobe Hansen has been hit by a pitch. And now it looks like shortstop Zach Struck along with Sam Johnson are both on the mound talking to Clark, and that was indeed Struck. So it's Gunnar Majerus now, who's in theory 0 for 2. And I might keep saying that. Throw up to first after the called strike. So the Stars double up their lead via bases loaded, hit by a pitch. Fouled back, strike 2. And that's going to right field. Racing in is Jack Merritt. He cannot get there. Run will score. That's Matt Bryant. Here comes Caleb Christensen. 2 more are on the board, and it's 6-2. It'll be a 2-run RBI single that pushes Kobe Hansen to third. So runners on the corners now, and a 4-run advantage for the Stars. And we've reached the 1-hour mark of this game, believe it or not. That's the fastest hour that I can remember a baseball game being. But then again, I spent about 25 minutes of that hour trying to get this game on the air to start with. Some new baseballs from the Brookings coach. All right, so we have some changes here defensively for Brookings. Jace Bauer comes in to play right field. And Austin Clark is still, is that fair? No, that's foul. So that was the only change. Jace Bauer came in to play right field. I'm gonna whisper this one a little bit, but like if they were to stop playing that drum, maybe the Stars would stop playing well. It seems like the drum and whatever that is honestly getting annoying. But I'm keeping my peace about it because right now the Stars are doing pretty good with that sound effect in the background. Hopefully you have similar thoughts than I do. It's now 3-1 to Gus Pankratz. Swing and a foul tip, I should say. So we'll stay at 3-2. And fouled back. Kobe Hansen on third, Gunnar Majerus on first. Those are the runners on for the Stars. And that's going to be a base hit out into right field, and that's going to score Kobe Hansen. And back to second, he's safe in time. So runners on first and second. It is now 7-2 in favor of the Fargo Post 400. On the RBI single by Gus Pankratz out into right field. Scoring Kobe Hansen from third, pushing Gunnar Majerus up to second, and brings up Gus Wurmeyer, who has a pair of doubles, at least I think he does, and they are both into left center field. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Once again, if you want to know exactly what Gus Wurmeyer has, I suggest following the Post 400 Game Changer account. Usually I have that on lock, but not today. As most of you know. Swing and a miss, and that will strand two on base. That will also end the top of the fourth. And we move now to the bottom of the fourth. With batters 7, 8, 9, I believe. We'll see if number 23 comes to the plate. Then we're in batter 7 in the lineup here for Brookings. I'm going to stretch my legs a little bit, and we'll be right back. All right, We're getting ready to go here with the bottom of the fourth, and it is indeed number 23, so we're in the bottom of the order. It'll be Antonin, Kaler, and Johnson, 7, 8, 9 for Brookings here at the 1 hour, 7-minute mark of the ball game. Swing and a miss, strike one. So Fargo Post 400 with 7 runs on 8 hits, and they've left 5 stranded on base, while Brookings has 2 runs on 2 hits, and they've left 4 stranded on base. Neal 1 pitch is just a little bit high. We're even at 1-1 now. So to go around the bases once again, because I feel like we haven't done that, even though I know I have, but it just feels like I haven't done that. And that one coming for ball 2. Ashton Renas pitching, Malachi Wermeyer catching, Gus Wermeyer at first, Caleb Christensen at second, Matt Bryant at short, Colby Hansen at third, and the 2-1 pitch is high for 3-1. Gunnar Majerus left, Gus Pankratz in right, and Kane Mathiasen in center field. That's the defensive setup right now for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. 3 balls and a strike to Tyson Antonin. Swing and a miss, and it's a full count. And that one's popped up. Matt Bryant's going back. Coming in is Kane Mathiasen. Did one of them get it? Mathiasen got it on a diving catch. How about that? So now we just need the right fielder to make an amazing play, and everybody who plays outfield will have an amazing play recorded this season. One ball, no strike to John Kaler, the batter. And a big thanks to the Brookings coach. I talked to 2 of them. Well, I don't know which one was which, but I'll just say the coach for helping me out with the name pronunciations, even though I really didn't need help with that. Usually how I do that is I walk up and say, hey, can you help? Can I just go over names, make sure I got them right? And they're like, yeah. And so I just start at the top of the roster and go down, and I named them all correctly. I said them all correctly. He just said yes to all of them. Bouncing ball to short. Matt Bryant over to first. Did they get him? Yes, they did. 6-3. Out number 2. Sam Johnson, who in one of those distraught innings reached third base at some point during the chaos. I know that because I have him recorded for a triple. That was the only way to put him on third and get caught up with everything that I had missed. So he's going to get hit by a pitch. So runner on. Tate Hembolt, the batter now, as we return to the top of the order here for Brookings. That'll move Owen Schneider into the on-deck circle. And that one's hit on a line drive flyer to center field. It'll drop for a base hit. They'll throw it into third. Here comes Sam Johnson. The throw goes back. Sam Johnson is going to go home, and he might be in a little bit of trouble. He'll run him all the way back up to third, and he tags him as he dives forward and tags the back of his right leg for the third out. And that'll move us to the top of the 5th. So it goes in the books as a hit. We'll call it a single. And then the throw over to third. A 5-2-2. Actually, I take that back. An 8-5-2-2 because that throw came in from center field. If there was a number for the dugout, we would throw that in there too, as that was part of the play. But so we move to the top of the fifth with the bottom of the order for the Stars. 7, 8, and 9. Malachi Wurmeyer, Caden Neuarth, and Kane Mathiasen will be the three batters we see here in the top half of the fifth inning. Once again, broadcast coverage of the Fargo Post 400 Stars and Comets this season brought to you by Sweet Shots, Doolittle's Woodfire Grill, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Applebee's. And don't forget, we have the state tournament this year and the regional tournament this year. Every single game, all 28, 30 if needed, 14, 15 if needed per tournament, right here on MSPN Digital Television. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you'd be so kind, become a member and join. And we have multiple membership levels starting as low as $9.99 a month, and that money might go towards buying a new laptop. You can check those out on our YouTube channel by just going to the homepage of our YouTube channel and then clicking on the word join, and you can get all the information there. And it's a month-by-month thing. You can cancel anytime. You don't even have to contact us to cancel. You just simply go back to our YouTube page and cancel if that's what you'd like to do. You can upgrade to a plan, or you can downgrade to a plan at any time as well. And that is the model we'll be moving to come fall sports season. We're keeping this summer free. But this fall sports season, you will need at least the season pass to watch games if you have interest in any of the games that we'll be broadcasting this coming fall. I don't have a schedule for the fall yet, a little too early for that. But it'll be probably a month or two from now. A month for sure, maybe two. All right, here's Malachi Wurmeyer. First pitch, low for a ball, 1-0. And strike, 1-1. A huge majority of the reason why it's free this summer and we're moving to that model in the winter, in the fall and the spring. More on that in a moment. High pop out. Schneider, the third baseman, makes the grab for out number one. The fees that we have to pay are very minimal in the summertime compared to the rest of the year. A tournament game for Legion Baseball cost us roughly $125 to broadcast. But the same tournament game during the high school season can range anywhere from $750 up to $1,250 a game, depending on the sport and which state we're broadcasting in. So that is the reason why we're moving to the membership model coming this fall, to help assist with those high costs. Two won the count. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Jim says this is fun to watch. So are you suggesting that I should never play commercials again, Jim? 2 balls, 2 strikes on the fouled away pitch there by Wermeyer. And he'll swing. It'll be a drop third strike, and he'll be tossed out. Out number 2. And that brings us to Caden Newarth. And that one got away from Austin Clark. No, it's actually not Austin Clark on the mound anymore. It is Ryan Lockram who's pitching now. I did not see that change. That's my bad. So the 1-0 pitch, and right back to Lockram, and a 1-3 ground out for out number 3. And that brings us to the bottom of the 5th now. And it's kind of cool seeing how this operates, because usually what you're seeing on screen now, as far as the scoreboard resetting, that's usually what happens behind the scenes when we go to a commercial break. There is a lot of programming into this that makes it all click to make it easy, so that even if I'm not the one broadcasting the game, anybody can come in and operate this and look like a professional, at least. That's the hope, anyway. If you were to sit down from scratch and duplicate what I've done, well, let's put it this way. If I were to erase everything and start over from scratch and create the same thing, it'd probably take me 3 days if I were to work 24 hours nonstop to get it all reprogrammed and all that good stuff. But with getting annoyed and tired and testing and testing some more to make sure that each transition works properly, I have to take breaks, and it can take it. Like this particular thing took me just shy of 10 days to put together, also that you can enjoy a quality broadcast here. At least we hope it's a quality one. Caden Newarth 0-1. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to switch the inning here. I was Owen Schneider, and he will get out right away. And that's a high fly ball. Running after is Majerus. On the run, he makes the grab. That's 2 outs now. Did I say right field? I meant to say left field. That pitch will miss for a ball, 1-0. This is Addison Ronning. That one's fouled away. 2 balls and a strike. And now full count at 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on base, 2 outs. See if Ashton Renas can wrap. It's not Ashton Renas anymore. I wonder when that one switched. Racing after it, but it'll go out of play. So number 10, if from memory, I think that's Jack Gould. No, it's not. From memory, I feel bad now because I know his dad's going to come watch this later. It's Colston Sen pitching. I'll owe him a cheeseburger and an adult beverage now. So runner on with 2 outs. Jace Bauer, the batter now. And that'll be out number 3. So they leave one stranded on base. And we go to the top of the 6th. One 3 ground out. That'll bring up the top of the order. Maybe I'm going to wait before I say that. They do have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen here for Fargo Post 400. They do not have anybody warming up for Brookings. My bubble may have just been popped by Jim. He said it was fun to watch the Stars. I interpreted that the wrong way, but he gave me permission to interpret it however I wanted to. And since I'm in a good mood, all is good. Which is surprising considering how this game started. One ball, no strike. Make that 2 balls, no strikes, as I just got a text message from said father just a moment ago, too. He may have heard the ding in the microphone. I will not repeat what that text message said, even though I'm not regulated by the FCC. 2-1. Try and keep it family friendly as much as possible. 2-2. And I'll admit, there's been times where it's not been close to family friendly. Ducking down there, Matt Bryant takes ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now here to Matt Bryant. And Bryant, left field, drifts foul, and one bounce shy of going into the bullpen where the Stars have somebody warming up. 1 hour and 25 minutes, time of the game so far here in the top of the 6th. Stars with runs in the top of the 1st, top of the 3rd, and top of the 4th. Neither team scored in the 5th. The Bandits covered the lack of runs in the 2nd. And an easy catch there for the 3rd baseman, Schneider. throw to first for out number 2. I'll simply say this, Cubbies is the place to be. If you've never been to Brookings, that's my favorite place in Brookings out of every place that I've been to, and nobody's recommended a place that has been better than that, in my opinion. So if you ever do make it down to Brookings, that's a free plug for a local business just because I like the food and drinks there that much. And the atmosphere, too. 1 ball, 1 strike. Somebody said ow. But it didn't hit anybody. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that one's pushed foul as well, so stay at 1-2. And a walk there to Caleb, check that to Colby Hansen. Brings up Gunnar Majerus. 1 hour and 30 minutes time of the game now. And that one pops off the glove of Sam Johnson, and Colby Hansen will take a trip to second. Ball 1. So runs have been scored in every inning of the game except the 5th. And so far, nobody scored here in the 6th, but Stars looking to potentially change that here. Pitch comes outside, ball 2. It's game 1 of a doubleheader. Once again, game 1 of this doubleheader was supposed to start in 26 minutes from now. But I got the message late last night around, I think it was around midnight or 12:30, that I had to be up 2 hours sooner than I expected. 3-0. Majerus walks. 2 runners on. This is, and it looks like we have a visit to the mound here. And it'll just be a visit. As I was saying in one of the previous videos for this game, which I haven't decided if I'll leave up or not. I'll have to watch them later and then see if it's even worth keeping them up. But what I was saying in one of those was that this is one of my favorite fields to come to for a road game. I love the setup of it. The netting behind the backstop kind of reminds me of Newman Outdoor Field where the FM Redhawks play. You got a nice little hill up on right field there, and you got a nice view of the street and the skate park kind of out in left center field there, and just the turf infield with the grass outfield, and it's just, and the weather complements it as well. But it's just a really nice facility here. And if the Stars moved all their home games to this field, I would not complain. I'm not complaining about Starry Bank Field for that matter, but I'm just saying if they had 2 home fields and this was one of them, I'd be okay with that. I'd be absolutely okay with that. If I could clone myself and come down here and broadcast all the Brookings games, I would do that too. That's how much I like this field. 0-2 to Gus Pankratz. 1-2. Harper, just got your message on the chat. Yes, I will review that here between innings. I'll do that for you. That'll give me something to talk about between innings. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here with 2 outs. 2 runners on. Colby Hansen on second. Gunnar Majerus on first. Gus Pankratz, the batter, battling here on a couple pitches at a 1-2 count. Strike, ball, and now a trio of fouled away pitches. And there's another one. And Nick, he's at the airport in Berlin getting ready to board his flight. So he's watching the Post 400 Stars until his flight boards, and he's forced to turn off his phone for, I don't know, what is that, like a 15-hour flight? I have no idea how long it takes to get from Berlin to the United States, but I would imagine it's not your casual 2 to 3 hour flight. So 2-2 and another ball mixed with a couple more fouled away pitches. And now that one's popped up right field. Jace Bauer should have a chance at it, and he does. Now strand 2 on base with Pankratz flying out to right field, and that will take us to the bottom of the 6th. All right, so let me pull up my score sheet here.
5 for 10 pitching. 5 for 10.
So we have a change in pitcher for the Stars. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's your recap of what happened. Matt Bryant singled out into center field to lead things off in the top of the 1st. And then Caleb Christensen would get a single to put runners on 1st and 2nd. Colby Hansen would eventually be hit by a pitch to load the bases. Gunnar Majerus would get an RBI on a fielder's choice. And Gus Pankratz would ground out on a 4-3 to second base. And on the 4-3 ground out, they would score Matt Bryant, and then Colby Hansen would get tagged out between 2nd and 3rd. But the run from Matt Bryant would count, and that made it 1-0 at the end of the top of the 1st. And then Brookings, their first batter, Tate Hembolt, was hit by a pitch, and then a ground out. Another hit by a pitch, fly out to left, and then a strikeout And there was a walk in between there too, so they got two runners on base, but they weren't able to score any runs. And then in the top of the second, nothing for Post 400. In the bottom of the second, 2 runs were scored by Winston Plummer and Tyson Antonin. In the top of the third, the Stars would get 2 more runs. That would be Caleb Christensen and Colby Hansing crossing the plate. Christensen would score on an RBI double by Gus Pankratz out into left center. Gus Wiermeyer would score Colby Hansen on an RBI double. That's a long fly ball to right field, and it's foul. Oh no, they caught it. Somebody caught it. I'm not sure if it was the second baseman, first baseman, or right fielder, but one of those 3 caught it for the out. So I'll go into the books as a fly out to right field. And then Brookings would not score in the bottom of the third. Here's a hard hit ball to third, fired over to first for a 5-3 ground out. And that's 2 away. In the top of the fourth, the Stars would get 4 runners across the plate. And I'll recap that here in just a moment. Strike is called. So 2 away, this is John Kaler. One ball and 2 strikes here to Kaler. We'll recap the top of the fourth here after the third out is recorded. Two, and that one's going to find the gap. It'll drop for a base hit. That is a single for John Kaler into shallow right field. Brings up Sam Johnson. Sam Johnson will remove his catching gear.
Let's go, Sammy!
Runner goes. Throw is not there in time. They'll find its way into shallow center. Now they'll fire it over to third, and it's corralled there by Colby Hansen. John Kaler gets the stolen base to second, and then he'll advance to third on the throw. Strike is called for Sam Johnson. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Sam Johnson. Three and one now here to Sam Johnson. And he'll walk Sam Johnson on 5 pitches. So that puts runners on the corners now. Tate Hembolt is the scheduled batter. And based on the crowd reaction, I'm guessing that that's exactly who it is. And now that I see his jersey number, everything is officially confirmed. Fell back for a strike. Strike 2. Stars have been stuck on 2 outs for a while now, it feels like. We'll see if they can wrap it up here on this pitch from Colston Sen. Actually, you know what? Gavin Driska is the pitcher. So if there's one thing that I've messed up on, it's paying attention to pitching changes. My apologies. And now I pay the price for that, from an 0-2 count to a 2-2 count. I'll blame that one on me. Three balls and 2 strikes. Runners on second and third. Brookings looking for that 2-out base hit to get on the scoreboard. Or to add to their scoreboard, I should say. So payoff pitch number 2 as the first one was fouled away. And he walks him, and that loads the bases here with 2 outs for Owen Schneider. Zach Struck, the guy on deck, represents the tying run. Owen Schneider represents run number 6 if everything worked in their favor. Hard hit ball, Bryant to second. That's all they needed. The force out at second, the run will not count, and that ends the 6th inning of play. We go to the top of the 7th now. An hour and 45 minutes in. And once again, broadcast coverage brought to you by Sweet Shots, Doolittle's Woodfire Grill, Buffalo Wild Wings, Applebee's. Thank you so much for your support. All right, so let's see here. That was a ground out to short. Let me record that really quick. So we had the run in the first scored by Matt Bryant, which we already talked about. And then 2 more runs in the third, scored by Caleb Christensen and Colby Hansen on RBIs from Pankratz and Wiermeyer. And then and then Brookings got 2 in the bottom of the second. The top of the 4th. Let's see if I can figure this one out. Wiermeyer would fly out to right. Caden Newarth would get hit by a pitch to reach base. Matt Bryant would be walked. At least that's how I have it recorded. Caleb Christensen would reach base. Colby Hansen would get hit by a pitch. And then Gunnar Majerus would get a 2-run single that would score Caden Newarth and Matt Bryant. Gus Pankratz would get a RBI single that would score Colby Hansen. And at that point, it was 7-2. And then Mathiasen, I skipped over him, but it's not the end of the world. He had a ground out to third. Or no, the pop out to third. And then for the third out, it was Gus Wiermeyer getting the third out. So that counts for the 7 runs scored by the Fargo Post 400 Stars here through 6 innings of play. Once again, we are now an hour and 47 minutes in. Nick says that his flight is 14 hours. And do I have a favorite game that I have broadcasted? Favorite baseball game or just favorite game in general? Well, I'm going to ask that counter question. You clarify, and I'll give you an answer. It's Gus Wurmeyer at the plate now. And Wurmeyer finds shallow center for a single. So 1 pitch and 1 runner on, and here comes Malachi Wurmeyer. Stars won game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday by the score of 8-2, and it looks like that would be potentially doable here as well, depending on how the next couple batters go here for the Stars. Up to first, back in time. Pitch came across as a ball or a strike. Looks like a ball, according to the scoreboard in the outfield. So 1 ball, no strike. And hard hit ball left field, but not deep enough. Hembolt's there, he runs back, and he makes the catch. So that's out number 1.
18-14 batting.
Jack Gould's going to step into the number 8 spot in place of Caden Neuarth. Jack Gould got his first hit as a member of the Stars in yesterday's game against Watertown when he would knock a single to right field. And that was his first ever hit in a Post 400 Stars uniform. And this one grounded, batted down by Lockrum up to second, over to first. The throw will not get there. So Jack Gould reaches base on a fielder's choice. And Wurmeyer's out at second. Brings up Kane Mathiasen, 2 away now. And down the first base line, but it's foul. It bounced foul right as it reached the first base bag. And it's strike 1 as a result. Matt Bryant awaits on deck. But with 2 away, we'll see what Kane Mathiasen does first. And Mathiasen's going to get a base hit. It was going to center, and it kind of curved out into left center. And he's going to try for third. He's going to make it, and it's going to be a double for Kane Mathiasen. And that moves Jack Gould all the way over to third. Kane Mathiasen with no hesitation around first. And now Matt Bryant, who started the game with a single to center, since then struck out, walk, and a fly out. That pop out to the third baseman in foul territory. And now a base hit to right field, and that will score Jack Gould. And rounding third, no, he's gonna be stopped by Coach Bryant. Kane Mathiasen will hold up at third, and it's now 8-2 on the RBI single by Bryant that scores Jack Gould from third. That puts runners on the corners for Caleb Christensen. And Christensen will see that pitch hit the outer edge of the plate for strike 1. Runner goes, Matt Bryant, throw up to second, and now the ball goes into center field, and the double steal will be an easy one as Kane Mathiasen scores. And now a runner on second. It's 9-2 now in favor of the Fargo Pulse 400 Stars, and once again, 2 outs on the board. And here's a little blooper to shallow infield. Did he drop the ball? Is he safe, or? My camera tripod got in the way of me being able to see what happened there. And he's safe. So runners on the corners again. Call that an infield hit. No, actually, they're going to charge as an error, which is fine with me. And Matt Bryant comes in, and he scores, and it's now 10-2. I didn't even see that happen. So we got 1 runner on base now. And it's Caleb Christensen on first. Colby Hansen, the last 2 times he's been up, he's been hit by a pitch. And that one's going right center. Can one of them get there in time on the run? John Kaler makes the grab. They strand 1 on base, and it is now 10-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th here. And Brookings will need 8 to tie and force the 8th, or 9 to walk it off and win. Nice catch on the run there by the center fielder, Kaler. And that should bring us to batters 3, 4, and 5 here for Brookings. Favorite, okay, so he says, how about both? Favorite baseball and then favorite from any other sport. Baseball one's kind of tough. There's been a handful of games. The favorite baseball broadcast, and no offense to Fargo Post 400. It was during COVID 2020. It was kind of when everything kind of shut down and no teams were officially playing, and in North Dakota, a kid from Bismarck, I think he was a sophomore or junior at Bismarck High. He talked to his parents, and he put together a league, and somehow he got teams from across the state to participate in it. So like the Bismarck Demons were like the Bismarck Hellbirds, or like they changed all the nicknames. So like the Shiloh Skyhawks were the Shiloh Bluebirds, or something, or the Bismarck Bluebirds, or something like that. But anyway, so long story short, that season got started, and they went to a state tournament that was played in Minot. Garrison was playing somebody, and it was a 2-2 ball game into like the 11th or 12th inning before we finally got a win. It was a hit to left field, and it was like a pitcher's duel, and that was just a fantastic game. And there's been other fantastic games too, but that one sticks out in memory for me. And I can't remember who Garrison was playing. It was some Class B team from right around the Minot area, if I remember correctly. Class B per se, because there was no classes that particular year. 1 ball, no strike here to, is it Zach Struck? No, it's not. It is Addison Ronning, because there's 1 out. Zach Struck got out on that fly ball, and now this one is, can't see it. Where'd it go? It went to right field, and that'll be a base hit. One of the favorite football games I've called was a football game. It was also, I think it was also during the COVID year. Yeah, it was. It was, and I'll tell you more about that here in a little bit. This is Jace Bauer. It was a football game between Frazee and Wadena Deer Creek. And due to that football season being started late, some of those games were played like in the cold of winter. They had moved 3 football games to Moorhead High School because they had a turf field. And I had the opportunity to call 2 of those 3 games. And our buddy Brad Anderson, which our Post 400 fans know, called the other game. But the one I called between Frazee and Wadena Deer Creek looked to walk away with that game. Frazee's JV team was playing Wadena Deer Creek's varsity team because Frazee's varsity team happened to ride on the wrong bus and they had to quarantine due to all the COVID restrictions in place at the time. And Wadena Deer Creek was just smashing Frazee. And there's a strikeout. And so halftime came. Wadena Deer Creek had like a 20 or 28 point lead over Frazee, and somebody in the booth said Frazee just needs to run it, or no. One of the commented on the YouTube chat saying all they need to do is run it up the middle. The Wolverines defense is weak up the middle. And I read that comment on air, and I don't know if I had any influence on that game or not, but all of a sudden, the second half, they started running it up the middle. Frazee forced overtime and won the game in overtime. Their JV team defeated Wadena Deer Creek's varsity team in overtime after trailing by 20-plus points at halftime. So that was probably one of my more memorable football games that I called. Shanley and Kindred from about 4 or 5 years ago was a memorable one, too. That was a game where the winner went to the Dakota Bowl. Kindred was down by like 20 or so points at halftime, and they came back and won that game on a pass to the end zone with about 2 or 3 seconds left, and they caught it and won the game as the clock hit 0. I lost my voice on that particular broadcast. That was back when I was calling the game on a radio. We weren't even streaming at that point. So there you go. There's a couple of my stories from there's a couple of my stories on my favorite games from the past. So the Frazee Wadena Deer Creek game is available on the MSPN YouTube channel. That Kindred Shanley game was back when I was working for a radio station, so there's no video of that game to look at. The Garrison game that I was telling you about is also available on our MSPN YouTube channel. If you go back far enough, it's somewhere back there. So there you go. There's the answers to your questions. And that's the end of game 1. Your final score is 10-2 in favor of the Fargo Post 400 Stars. And we'll get things set for game number 2. And since we have about 20 minutes, one thing I got to do is go down and get lineups so we don't have the commercial break or the, hey, we're between games like we normally do. You're just going to see a 10-2 scoreboard for a while. Matter of fact, I'll reset that to 0-0 before I take off. But, yeah, so I'm going to reset the scoreboard, and you just hang tight, and we'll keep the stream going here, and we'll be back in a moment.
13, Chase Lura. Batting second and playing second base, number 10, Colston Sen. Batting third, designated hitter, number 11, Ashton Renus. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 15, Hudson Stein. Batting fifth, third baseman, number 22, Keegan Wessels. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 26, Blake Chase. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 9, Ethan Dole. Batting eighth, shortstop, number 27, Cade Olhauser. And batting ninth, left fielder, number 5, Gavin Gistra. The pitcher for Fargo in game number 2, number 4, Alex Christofferson. Reserves for Fargo, post 400, number 1, Matt Bryant. Number 2, Colby Hansen. Number 3, Kane Mathiasen. Number 6, Caleb Christensen. Number 7, Joe Gould. Number 8, Malachi Wurmeyer. Number 14, Caden Newhart. Number 17, Gunnar Majerus. Number 18, Jack Gould. Number 19, Gus Wurmeyer. And number 35, Gus Pankratz. Fargo Post 400 is coached by Jeff Feichner and Kevin Pearson. For the home team, Brookings Post 74 Bandits. Batting first and playing left field, number 1, Tate Hempel. Batting second, playing second base, number 9, Owen Schneider. Batting third, shortstop, number 11, Zach Struck. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 6, Addison Ronning. Batting fifth, catcher, number 17, Jace Bauer. Batting sixth, third baseman, number 8, David Brink. Batting seventh, designated hitter, number 24, Winston Plummer. Batting eighth, center fielder, number 3, Austin Clark. And batting ninth, right fielder, number 9, number 13, John Kaler. Pitching for the Bandits in game 2, number 23, Tyson Antonin. Reserves for the Bandits, number 29, Ryan Lockrum. Number 7, Jack Merritt. And number 10, Sam Johnson. The Bandits are coached by Carter Roach and Alec Johnson.
Go Bandits!
Fans, we ask that you please stand, remove your hats, place your hand over your hearts, pay respects to the flag beyond the left field fence for the playing of our national anthem. Your battery today, catching number 17, Jace Fowler, and on the mound, number 23, Tyson Hampton.
All right. Test. I can't hear anything in my headset. There you go.
Post 400, center fielder, number 13, Chase Lura.
All right, so lineups are in, and we're ready to go here in the top of the first of Game 2 of this doubleheader, with the Fargo Post 400 Stars taking Game 1 by the final score of 10-2. Between games there, I found out that that little tick, tick, tick in the drum is actually a machine out here that produces those noise. So it's not anybody trying to screw with us, but I'll have to learn to live with it. I don't remember that being here last year when we were here for the game, but that maybe I'm just don't remember it. Maybe it didn't annoy me last year. Maybe I was occupied with something else. I don't know, but ooh, ouch! Chase Lura will be awarded first base and probably have a nice little black and blue mark on his back here by that hit by a pitch. Jim says, welcome back, MSPN, and I say, welcome back, Jim. And that one is a little bouncer towards third. Brink up to second, over to first. Got him. 5. Let's see here. That is a, where's the second baseman at?
5-4-3.
5-4-3. Shortstop was not in the mix on that one.
Number 11, Ashton Arenas.
So that's 2 outs. A 5-4-3 ground to double play. Ashton Renas will step up to the plate now. He'll take the first pitch for a ball. It's 1-0. I find that hard to believe that it's a machine. I mean, I believe what I was told, but man. There's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now here to Ashton Renas. Okay, there's no way that's a machine. That's got to be a band practicing somewhere. And that one is sent out into left field. On the run, making the grab is Tate Hembolt. That will do it for the top of the first. A quick 1-2-3 inning. And they got the normal operation here now as they got the music playing, and it was kind of peaceful. Maybe that's why I noticed that drumming, whatever it was, because we had music playing last year when I was here, and now that the music's playing, I don't hear it anymore. So be Tate Hembolt, Owen Schneider, and Zach Struck, your first 3 batters here for Brookings in the bottom of the first. Alex Christofferson is your starting pitcher here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. Blake Chase is catching. Hudson Stein playing first base. And I paused slightly on that one to emphasize the fact that he's playing first base and the fact that he's played first base very well in the games that he's played. And keep your eyes on him. He can do some good things. Colston Sen at second. Kate Olhauser is the shortstop. Keegan Wessels is at third, as that one's fouled off for strike one. In the outfield for the Stars, Gavin Jiska in left, Ethan Dahl in right, and Chase Lura in center. That pitch will miss for a ball, and it's 1-1. And that one will find its way into foul territory. I'll say hi to Colton, who's chimed in on the chat near the end of game one, according to the timestamp. I missed that one. Sorry, Colton. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Appreciate it. There's a strikeout for Christofferson.
Second baseman, number 9, Owen Schneider.
So it's Owen Schneider now. Here's the windup from Christofferson. He'll deliver, and that one will pop away for ball one. And the 1-0 delivery, in for a strike. And trying to make the grab was Colston Sen, but just a little bit over his reach. It'll be a base hit as Ethan Dahl picks it up in right field. And a runner on.
Single by Schneider brings the play shortstop, number 11, Zach Struck.
Right back to Christofferson, up to second, over to first. Got him. Oh, 1-6-3 double play there to end the first inning of play. And we have no score heading to the second.
Summary for the Bandits, the bottom of the first, no runs, 1 hit. No Fargo Airs, no runners left on base.
So bring up 4, 5, and 6 for the Stars. Hudson Stein, Keegan Wessels, and Blake Chase will be your 3 batters that we see in the top of the second. Maybe more, but definitely not less than that. Once again, broadcast coverage brought to you by Doolittle's Woodfire Grill, as well as Sweet Shots in South Fargo, Applebee's, Buffalo Wild Wings with multiple locations across Fargo-Moorhead. And that copyright strike on YouTube brought to you by Bon Jovi. One that hopefully we won't get.
Brookings Friends of Baseball would like to thank First Bank and Trust for their continued support of baseball in our community.
And now that Nick is on the plane and probably can't hear what I'm saying. I remember a favorite broadcast. He was asking me earlier about my favorite baseball and then my favorite sports broadcast overall. And there was a volleyball match between West Fargo and Fargo Davies. That was a fun one to call. where the first set, it was, I believe it was an EDC first round tournament or quarterfinal round match. And West Fargo beat Davies in the first set 32-30. We thought it was a set that would never end. That's another one that I can chalk up into my favorite sports broadcasts here on NSPN. And swatted down by Antonin, who's your starting pitcher. He'll fire it over to Ronning for the 1-3 ground out. So 1 up, 1 down here. That was Hudson Stein, the batter.
Batting for post 400, third baseman
Keegan Wessels will be the next one stepping up to the plate. And Tony, thanks for the compliments and thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. That one's hit well on the left field. It'll be good for a base hit there for Wessels. So that puts a runner on base.
Single by Wessels breaks the plate. Catcher, number 26, Blake Chase.
And I don't have to do my job anymore. Blake Chase, the batter. Both teams have a hit here in this one so far. That pitch will miss for a ball. It's 1-0 now here to Blake Chase. Ethan Dahl is the batter on deck. Nobody out. So we'll see Ethan Dahl for sure, even if a double play occurs. I take that back. There's 1 out. It's right there on my scoreboard and on my stat sheet, and I looked at the scoreboard in the outfield that said 0 outs. But there's 1 out. 2 balls and no strikes. Make that 2 balls and a strike. That one will miss outside. We got 3 balls and a strike now. That one's fouled off first base side and pushed out of play, so we'll stay it. Or we won't stay anywhere. We'll move from 3-1 to 3-2. Swing and a miss. He may have gone a little bit late on that swing, and it cost him a strikeout. Wrong button again.
Adding 2 outs. Right fielder, number 9, Ethan Dahl.
So strikeout puts 2 outs on the board now. Ethan Dahl, the batter, 1-0, and he'll take that one foul to first base line to even up the count at a ball and a strike. Currently sunny and 72. The forecasted high is 76 down here in Brookings today, and the Birds enjoying a view of this game from atop the overhang. Flying around, chirping. Just imagine, I did not put a mic out there. You wouldn't hear the umpire scream out strike, and you wouldn't hear the birds flying around and chirping. How boring would that be? 3-1. There's a strike. He thought he got walked there for a moment, but negative on that. I just got a text message from somebody, and and yes, I'll answer yes to that. You know, I have a spreadsheet at home where I have the final score of every single game I've broadcasted. So last time I looked at that about 48 hours ago, we were over 2,700. I was over 2,700 games. So if I forgot a game that I enjoyed broadcasting, I sincerely apologize. Runners on first and second now. Kate Olhauser is the batter. I think, anyway. Yeah, it is. Yep. Yep, it is. 1-1 the count. So I'm going to categorize that game into a series of games. Like, my favorite tournament to broadcast was the 2021 Central Plains Regional. I'll explain more between innings because I won't be able to share that story between pitches. And that inning will come now. So it's a strikeout on Kate Olhauser.
For Fargo, the top of the second, there were no runs on one hit.
And we move to the top of the second. I wish I had a picture of what's hanging up in the hangout that they call the dungeon back home in Fargo, so I could accurately describe this to you. But I believe they were playing Hopkins in the first game of that tournament. The Stars scored a run in like the second or third inning. It was, or maybe the first inning. It was really early. And they had a 1-0 lead very early, and I was nervous. I think everybody who was a Stars fan was nervous. But that ended up being the final score, 1-0. That run that was scored early, and they defeated Hopkins 1-0, and then they went on to play, I think it was Renner next, if I'm not mistaken. And they won that game. And then I think they played Sioux Falls in a nightcap in Game 3 of Day 2. And that game got rained out, and I know a couple people who were frustrated that they had to pause the game and then continue to play it the next day because by rule they had to change pitchers because of a pitch count and all that stuff. And they ended up winning that game. If I remember correctly, I think that game went to extra innings. And that was against Sioux Falls. And then they played De Pere. I don't think I skipped a game, and they got absolutely clobbered. I think it was a 10-run rule by De Pere. And then they had to play Hopkins again in the championship game. And once again, that was a tight game until Mr. Almy hit I think it was Almy who hit a grand slam to right field, or left field. And about a run later, the Stars would win via the 10-run rule, 11-1 in the sixth inning of play to capture the 2021 Central Plains Regional Tournament. After Hopkins would fly out on a fly ball to center field. And I remember, I think it was Kobe's son who was a part of a 6-4-3 double play that just should not have ended up being a double play. But like, not only in that game, but in that entire tournament, the shortstops, which was primarily Kobe's son, I can't remember who the other one was back in 2021, but those two shortstops played phenomenal baseball at that shortstop position to help that team win that tournament. And they went into that tournament not even thinking that they probably had a chance. Probably a lot of people didn't think they had a chance to win that tournament, and they proved everybody wrong. And they almost won the state tournament, too. They really sent some tidal waves through that state tournament in 2021 that was played in Mandan. beat West Fargo the first time, but lost to him in the state championship game. And then West Fargo and Fargo Post 400 both went down to Sioux Falls for the regional, and West Fargo went 1-2, and Fargo Post 400 went to Shelby, North Carolina. Full count here to Jace Bauer. That one's fouled down the third baseline. Three and two. Payoff pitch number 2 coming up here from, and he'll walk him. And he's not happy about that, but that's how it worked out on that particular instance.
Number 8, David Brink.
And also from that 2021 regional, not to bring up any bad memories, but it was in that championship game against Hopkins, and I can't remember who was pitching, and I should remember because I've watched that play, and the audio that's burned into my mind for the longest time now. But whoever is pitching for the Stars tossed the pitch, and the Hopkins batter drilled it right back to him. This one's a deep fly ball to left field. Driska's running back. They'll go over his head. And they will hold Jace Bauer at third.
Double by David Brink. Designated hitter, number 24, Winston Plummer.
Somehow third base put 3 runs on the board there. I just took those off, so. But yeah, we had a slight pause in that game as they were to check on the Stars pitcher, and awesomely enough, the Stars pitcher finished the game even after the 100-mile-per-hour shot to his lower stomach. Let's put it that way. Winston Plummer is the batter. It was Andy Mock who hit the home run, the grand slam. And like I said, I wish I had a picture of that sign hanging up because I mixed up the Renner and Sioux Falls games. They flip-flopped them. But the story is correct. It just put them in the wrong order, the story. And now that you say that, Colton, I do remember that play call. And you are absolutely right. I have no discrepancy on that. And a high fly ball left center field. And that one's going to get by Chase Lura. He'll run all the way to the fence to pick it up, and coming in to score is Jace Bauer. David Brink will score, and Winston Plummer will go to third. And Austin Clark is on with a 2-run double.
That's a 2 RBI double by Clark. Batting for Brookings, right fielder number 13, John Kaler.
John Kaler's the batter now. So runners on second and third. It's Plummer on third, Clark on second. That one's going to right field. Ethan Dahl will have the grab on that one. Winston Plummer will tag, and the throw home was deflected by the glove of the first baseman. And hindsight 2020, when they go back and look at the video of this one, they might say, man, I should have let that one go to home plate. That was a strong throw from Ethan Dahl in right field. I think it was on its way to Blake Chase for potentially an out at home, but we'll never know for sure now. It's Tate Hembolt, the batter. He has 2 balls and 2 strikes. Full count now, 3-2. Christofferson working on pitch 35, and it comes right back to him. He picks it up, makes the flip over to Stein at first, and that is out, number 3. That'll move us to the bottom half of 2. Actually, it'll move us to the top of the 3rd. My apologies.
2 hits. No post 400 hitters, 1 runner left on base.
All right, Gavin Driska is the batter now here for Fargo Post 400. They find themselves down 3-0. 3 runs on 3 hits for Brookings in that bottom half of the 2nd. No runs on 1 hit so far here for the Stars. Strike 1 to Driska. That one is low for a ball, 1-1. This one a grounder bouncing out towards Schneider at second, and it'll actually be Addison Ronning, the first baseman, who picks it up and fires it back over to Antoine, the pitcher, for the 3-1 ground out.
Center fielder, number 13, Chase Lura.
Chase Lura now takes the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. Fouled away up and over the grandstand here behind home plate. One ball, one strike, one out. No runners on. 30 minutes into the ball game now. High, Lura ducks down to take ball two. That one popped straight up and out of play as well. 2-2 now. Stars winning game 1, 10-2. Now they find themselves down 3-0 here in game 2, but it's still early. And he'll foul that one away as well. Stars have, I believe it's, last time I counted it up, I believe it was 23 or 24 players on the roster, so they can, in essence, field two different teams for a doubleheader, and that's almost what they're doing, but not quite. Three balls and two strikes to chase Lura. Colston Sen awaits on deck. And he got him, a strikeout. So that's 2 outs now, and that'll bring up Colston Sen.
Colston Sen.
See if he can keep this inning going here for the Stars. They'll miss outside for a ball. One pitch is fouled off for 1-2. Ashton Renas is the potential next batter here for the Stars. Count now moves to 2-2. And that one finds the gap into left field between the 5-6 hole. It's good for a base hit and a single for Colston Sen. Runner on first on a 2-out single.
Designated hitter, number 11, Ashton Renas.
And now Ashton Renas will step up to the plate. That would move Hudson Stein to the on-deck circle. That one is a blooper to right field, and they're going to hold the brakes at second. So Renas on first on a single, back-to-back singles by the Stars with 2 outs on the board, and that puts Hudson Stein to the plate and moves Keegan Wessels into the on-deck circle.
Brings the plate first baseman, number 15, Hudson Stein.
Hudson Stein grounded out right back to the pitcher last time he was at the plate. If I remember, I think that was inning-ending one, and that one's going to right field. Kaler's running after it on the run. He does make the grab. It's a fly out to shallow right. They'll leave 2 stranded, and that will end the top of the 3rd inning.
For Fargo in the top of the 3rd, there were no runs on 1 hit. No Brookings errors, 2 runners.
They'll bring up batters 2, 3, and 4 for Brookings when we return here in the bottom of the 3rd. We're 34 minutes into the ball game now. Once again, due to a technical issue at the start of game 1, If you're just tuning in, we are just keeping it live on this screen here. Which has allowed me to share some stories upon request of the guy who's now on the airplane flying from Berlin on a 14-hour flight. And if the Stars can score 3 runs and get into a pitching duel, we might still be broadcasting by the time he lands. But
Brookings Health System Outdoor Hitting Center. Serving the needs of Brookings and surrounding communities. Brookings Health was recently named the top 20 rural community hospital in the United States. Thank you, Brookings Health, for your support of Brookings baseball. Leading off the bottom of the third for the Bandits, second baseman number 9, Owen Schneider.
all right, Owen Schneider will lead things off here in the bottom of the third. And he rips one right over to Olhauser at short. He'll fire it across. Got it there in time. (6-3) on the ground out for out one, and now it's Zach Struck. I think. Let me double check the jersey number. Yep, it is.
Shortstop number 11, Zach Struck.
And that will come inside for ball 1. Check swing, and he takes a strike as a result. It may have been a strike regardless. It looked like a really good pitch down the middle there. 2-1 the count now here to Zach Struck. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Full count and a payoff pitch coming up here for Alex Christofferson. And fouled at the plate. He'll stay alive and get one more. Christofferson, I have him down for 41 tosses so far. We're 37 minutes into ball game number 2 of this doubleheader here down in Bob Sheldon Field in Brookings, South Dakota. And now he hits him. So I'll put a runner on with one out.
Hit by pitch, brings to the plate first baseman number 6, Addison Ronning.
And as you just heard, Addison Ronning will step up to the plate now. Foul down the third base line. A nice grab there by the Brookings coach. And back-to-back batters hit by a pitch. So with one out, there's 2 runners on now. Zach Struck moves up to second with Ronning moving to first on the hit by a pitch. Jace Bauer, the batter now. Jace Bauer 0 for 0. You have him recorded down for a walk last time he was at the plate. Swing and a miss, strike 1 here. One's going to right field, and it drifts foul and out of play. It'd be big to get that second out here. Let's see if Christofferson company can do it. Gonna be popped up. That's gonna be a chance for Hudson Stein. He'll be called off there by Colston Sen, and it'll be Sen who will make the grab instead. So out number 2 has been recorded. They got that out that I was just talking about that they needed, and now
Batting 1 out, third baseman, number 8,
David Brink. That one's a little high for a ball, 1-0. Coach Fickner hollering out that to his team that there's 2 outs. For a moment there, the scoreboard showed 1 out, and the Stars were setting up accordingly on defense. So Coach Fickner realized that and shouted out that there was 2 outs, not 1. That's a pass ball that will allow Struck to move to third, and it'll also advance rounding up to second. Three balls and no strikes as a result of that. Strike 2. Big pitch here. Got 2 runners in scoring position. We'll see what pitch he pulls out of his back pocket here. It's going to be one that's popped up. And Blake Chase has it. And that will strand 2 runners on base and end the 3rd inning of play. Stars avoid a threat. They remain trailing 3-0, and we move now to the top of the 4th to see what the Stars can do with Keegan Wessels, Blake Chase, and Ethan Dahl. Batters 5, 6, 7 in the lineup to start the top of the 4th. Once again, broadcast coverage brought to you by Sweet Shots in Fargo, Doolittle's Woodfire Grill, and Buffalo Wild Wings, Applebee's. Don't forget, we'll have the state tournament this year as well as the regional tournament. State tournament at Starring and Bank Field. So the Stars will be in, well, the Star, never mind what I was about to say. And then the regional tournament will be at Young Field in West Fargo. And then the following year, the regional tournament will be at Starring Bank Field. So we'll have all 3 of those tournaments over the next 2 years. Certainly looking forward to that. Tournament time is always fun, at least from the broadcasting standpoint, it's fun. I can't speak on behalf of the players on what their thoughts are, but hopefully there's an element of fun to it. Keegan Wessels had a single last time he was at the plate, and he fouls this one away. Strike 1.
Batting for Fargo, third baseman number 22, Keegan Wessels.
Strike 2. Wessel sends it to right field. Kaler's underneath it and has it.
Wessel's retired the fly ball to Kaler for the first out.
Here's Blake Chase now
At the
for
plate,
one.
catcher number 26, Blake Chase.
Go defense, bandits!
Now missed for a ball, 1-0. 2 runs in there, check that, 3 runs in the bottom of the second. That's all the scoring so far. 1-1. Stars will be in action again at home tomorrow against the Minot Vistas for a doubleheader starting at 5:30 from Starry Bank Field. And then shortly after that, they'll... Is it a road game? I think it's a road game against the Bismarck Governors after that. (3-1). And that one's popped up, foul territory, out of play. Speaking of Bismarck Governors, that brings up another memory in my sports broadcasting career. I think it was last season. Traveled to Bismarck to do a game between the Governors and the West Fargo Patriots, and we had a delay as the PA announcer told somebody to get out of the little hunting stand that was out in center field. And I got it on camera of the guy crawling, not only crawling up there, but crawling out when he was told to get out.
Batting for Fargo, right fielder, number 9, Ethan Dahl.
So Ethan Dahl is the batter now. And that bunt will eventually roll foul. One away, looking to move a runner into scoring position here with Kate Olhauser on deck. Dahl swings and misses. Strike 2. That one's a little high for a ball. 1-2. Once again, the runner on first is Blake. Let me double check that. Usually they send in a courtesy runner for him. Nope, it is Blake Chase on first. That one's going to be popped up. That should be an easy out. Number 2, Zach struck underneath it, makes the grab. So Kate Olhauser will be up to him to keep the sending going here.
Batting with 2 outs, shortstop, number 27, Cade Olhauser.
Olhauser will foul that one back into the netting. So 2-1 count now here to Olhauser after that first pitch was fouled away. Runner goes, throw to second is off the mark, and it's an easy steal for Chase. Pitch came across as a strike, so it's 2-2 here to Olhauser. And a stolen base to Chase. And now a base hit could get the Stars on the board, and they need one badly here, and it'd be fantastic for Stars fans to see them get one here in the top of the fourth. We'll see if Olhauser can come through. Gavin Driska is the potential next batter here. No, I take that back. They're going to make a change in the 9 slot. Joe Gould will be the next batter on deck if Olhauser can reach base. Full count. And he walks him. So 2 runners on now for Joe Gould.
Pinch hitting for Fargo, number 7, Joe Gould.
I missed that pitch. I'm not sure if it was a ball or a strike. That was, so we have at least 1 strike on the board now. They're saying it's 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Top of the lineup is next if Gould can reach base. And he'll take that one looking. So they'll strand 2 on base, and it remains 3-0 here, going to the bottom of the 4th inning.
For Fargo in the top of the 4th, no runs, no hits, no bandits errors, 2 runners left on base.
Jake, thanks for chiming in on the chat. That reminds me of another sports story on my history here. It was 2 years ago in the 2022 season when Colton Almy and Jake Bryant donated $1 to the Avalanche Fund. So that Avalanche Fund is still open if you want to donate again, guys.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th for the Bandits, designated hitter, number 24, Winston Plummer.
And that one's out of play. It's Plummer, the batter. Oh, I apologize. Back on June 15th of 2022, Jake Bryant and Colton Almy made 2 donations of 69 cents each to the Avalanche Fund. And that was supposed to go towards my purchase of a $932 ticket for Game 6 between the Colorado Avalanche and Tampa Bay Lightning. So, and that's exactly what it went to, went towards. I may have used it to get a hot dog during that game. So, if you want to help me pay that off, that fund is still open. 2-2 the count. And they'll walk them.
Following the leadoff walk by Plummer, center fielder number 3, Austin Clark.
I can't remember who hit a home run or who got hit by a batter after pitching, but I can remember exactly who donated 69 cents to my fund. How about that one? One ball, no strike. Two 2-0 pitch is going to go a little bit outside. 3-0. Austin Clark, the batter. And an aired throw is going to allow the runner to go to second base. It remains 3-0. All 3 runs scored in the bottom of the second. 3 balls, no strikes here to Austin Clark. Blake Chase will have some words with Dahl. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but Ethan Dahl is the new pitcher. And that means Joe Gould moves over to right field. And a walk puts 2 runners on.
Following the walk to Clark, right fielder number 13, John Kaler.
And we have a visit to the mound here from Coach Fickner. I'm sorry, it's not Ethan Dahl. I thought it was jersey number 9. It's actually Malachi Wermeyer who's pitching. Ethan Dahl is still out in right field. All right, now we got everything straight. We've hit the 1 hour mark of the ball game. That one is low and a ball. John Kaler, the batter, 1 ball, no strike, and the pitch, and he'll bunt it right back to Wiermeyer. He throws it over to third for the force out. And the sacrifice bunt does not get the job done. Plummer's out at third, and now with 1 out on the board, the Stars are in the same scenarios they were before that pitch. Runners on first and second. They just have an extra out on the board now, as Kaler will reach on a fielder's choice. So 1-5 on the force out at third. Tate Hemble is the batter now. 1 ball, no strike to Hemble. And that one will bounce away, and now the runners will advance. Crucial moment in the game here. Wiermeyer's going to want to get some strikes thrown here, maybe a ground out to a positional player. Or a foul ball will help that cause as well. 2-1. Get a strikeout here and maybe a fly out or a ground out on the next batter. That would probably be ideal. You don't want the fly out to happen now, because if it's deep enough, it could score the run on a sac fly. So you want to get the strikeout here and then the fly out or ground out on the next batter. So after a 2-0 count, a pair of fouled away pitches evens the count at 2-2. Big pitch here. Fouled away, it'll stay 2-2. So Wiermeyer doing exactly what I was just chatting about, starting to throw some strikes. And when you're struggling to score runs, you need to throw strikes and play good defense. One out, 2 balls, 2 strikes, runners on second and third. Wiermeyer winds and delivers. Swung on, and that's going to be a base hit into the gap in right center. That's easily going to score Austin Clark, and rounding third is John Kaler from second, and 2 runs score, and it's 5-0 in favor of Brookings. And Fichtner is going to come to the mound again. And 2 trips in such a short time may be the end for Wiermeyer, even though he just came on recently. And it is the end for Wiermeyer. So we'll have a new pitcher, and it looks like Ethan Dahl might be the new pitcher, who I thought was pitching originally. It is indeed Ethan Dahl, and coming into right field for Ethan Dahl is Jack Gould, or coming into left field is Jack Gould. And Ethan Dahl will take over on the mound. It looks like that's the only changes, is right field and pitcher. Yes, they did get robbed. They got robbed both years, in my humble opinion, but I think the hot dog here costs $3. So if you two of you want to chime in $1.50, that'd be helpful. Jim, yeah, it is starting to slip away, but it's the bottom of the fourth. I wouldn't lose faith just yet. As far as Colton's question on what Brookings possibly discussed to come out the way they did here in game two, I don't know. Like I'm sure they discussed something, but as I mentioned earlier, last time I counted up on the roster, they had like 23, 24 players. So one thing I've noticed this season is that the team that plays game two of the doubleheader is a considerable different team with maybe a couple similar players than game one, which is unlike in previous years. So it's almost like Brookings is playing a completely different team here in comparison to the team they played in game one. So that could be part of it. The second team is a little bit younger than that first team, but at least from my the last time I talked about ages and stuff of the players on the team. So it might just be an experience thing. And I know yesterday when that game slipped away from them in game two, the doubleheader, the Stars played well in the first 3 innings. There's no doubt about it, maybe even the first 4 innings. And then they just had a bad experience on the mound, and that's when the game got away from them. So,
Batting for the Bandits, second baseman number 9, Owen Schneider.
I think, let's see here. I think I need to hire a couple guys to do the game on tomorrow against Minot. So if you're still on call and you want to do that game, you let me know, and we'll make that happen. That would give me a chance to figure out the audio-video sync with the new stuff at the home field for the Stars. There's a catch by Olhauser.
Batting with 2 outs for the Bandits.
And that is 2 outs now.
Zach Struck.
And this one's going to center field. Chase Lura charging in, and he makes the grab, and that retires Brookings here in the bottom of the fourth. So we move to the top of the fifth next.
There were 2 runs on 1 hit. No Fargo errors, 1 runner left on base.
July 3rd, all right. I don't know off the top of my head who they're playing on July 3rd, but let's mark it down. Let's make that happen. July 3rd, we'll have a guest broadcaster or 2. I just looked it up on the schedule, and Jake just chimed in on the chat. They are playing Moorhead on July 3rd. So yeah, all right. So Jake and Colton will do the game on July 3rd here on MSPN Digital Television. They've done a fantastic job on some games in the past, and I think we get more viewers when those guys do the games than I do. So I'll take it, and then I'll blast in on the chat and make sure we make some coin on that one. And if you enjoy that broadcast on July 3rd, make sure you hit the super chat button and on our YouTube channel and support the Jake and Colton show.
Some defensive changes for the Bandits. Now on left field, number 10, Sam Johnson. And on the mound, number 1, Tate Hemble.
As soon as this game is over, and before I pack up the equipment, I'll make a note on our official schedule. July 3rd.
Leading off the top of the fifth for Fargo, center fielder number 13, Chase Lura.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2 here. Chase Lura, the batter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck is Colston Sen. Ashton Renas to follow this inning. And a hard hit ball to third. Scooped up by Brink. He'll fire it over. That's a 5-3 ground out. Lura almost ran that one out, but was about a step behind the throw. Out number 1.
Batting for Fargo, second baseman number 10, Colston Sen.
Strike 1. Colston Sen, 1 for 2 in this one. Ground out to third, single to left. Tipped that one foul, and it's 0-2. Fouled back. He'll stay alive at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two, and he gets hit. Colston Sen gets hit by a pitch. And runners on with 1 out.
For Fargo, number 18, Jack Gould.
And he'll foul that one right into the Brookings dugout. It's Jack Gould taking the place of Ashton Renas. Swing and miss. Oh, and 2.
Batting with 2 outs, first baseman, number 15, Hudson Stein.
All right, so some changes here for Brookings. This is Sam Johnson now in left field. And Tate Hembolt's pitching. And to the best of my knowledge, that's the only changes so far. Hudson Stein, the batter, with no balls and 2 strikes. And he will lift that one right field. Coming in is Kaler. He makes a grab, and that will do it for the top of the 5th. The Stars are down to 6 outs to work with. They need 5 runs, but they also need to play some defense to keep it at a 5-run deficit.
Top of the 5th, no runs, no hits, no bad errors, 1 runner left on base.
All right, so everything's ready to go for the bottom of the 5th inning now. Here at Bob Sheldon Field in Brookings, South Dakota. A nice sunny day. Last time I looked, it was 72, and it's now 74 degrees. Expect to have sunshine all the way through the 5 o'clock hour before some clouds start to roll in. Low tonight of 47. We won't have to worry about that. We won't be here tonight. At least I don't think we will be here tonight. And that's fair down the the left field line. It dropped right in front of the line, and that's going to be good for a double. So leadoff double here for Zach. I believe it was Zach Struck. No, it wasn't. It was Addison Ronning. That was a batter behind here.
17, Jace Bauer.
And over to first in time for the out. Runner will advance to second. Actually, he'll stay put at second.
Third baseman, number 8, David Brink.
David Brink now the batter. That one's low for a ball. Ethan Dahl pitching. He came in the bottom of the 4th. And a strike is thrown there. So key number one, the Stars need to get out of this inning with a 5-0 score, and then they need to get at least 3 in the top of the 6. And it'd be preferred if they were to get 2 of those 3 with 0 or 1 outs on the board. And then they'll need to play defense again and then see if they can't finish the job in the top of the 7th. Or force an extension to the bottom of the 7th is probably the better way to put that. 2 balls, 2 strikes now here to David Brink. Time is called. Full count at 3-2. And with nobody, check that with 1 out. Brookings has a runner on second. That's a dangerous scenario here. And now it's runners on first and second with 1 out. So they need to get the second out here on this batter. And that's Winston Plummer. No, it's not. It's going to be somebody else. They are going to sub in Sam Johnson.
Batting for Brookings, left fielder, number 10, Sam Johnson.
Fouled off, strike 1. So 1/3 of the way there. There's strike 2, 2/3 of the way there. See if he goes to the inside to jam him up maybe. A little high and almost jammed him up. Ball 1. There's strike 3, got him. That's out number 2. Austin Clark, the batter now. So they got the second out. That was important. Now they need to finish the job here with Austin Clark. That one just missed.
Batting for Brookings, center fielder, number 3, Austin Clark.
That one's outside, ball 2. This umpire, I've just now noticed, he has an interesting strategy standing behind the batter to the left of the catcher. Most of them are directly behind the catcher, but I see what he's doing. And I don't know if I like that call. I think that was a strike, but maybe not. 3 balls and no strikes now here to Austin Clark. Ethan Dahl needs to battle back out of this. And he will not. Instead, he'll load the bases on a 4-pitch walk. John Kaler's the scheduled batter now.
Right fielder, number 13, John Kaler.
John Kaler has not had a lot of success against the previous Stars pitchers. We'll see if, for lack of better wording, if that trend will continue against Ethan Dahl. And I say that respectfully for any Brookings fans who might be watching. One ball, 1 strike. Get Kaler out and avoid returning to the top of the order. And that could be what happens. Can Lura get there? No, he cannot. And 2 runs will score, and that might be the early dagger. Chase Lura, I can't speak on his behalf, but it seemed like he may have had an opportunity to run up to that one. It was almost like he stopped. But I'm not out in center field. I'm behind home plate, so I'll trust his judgment on that one. It just looked like he had an opportunity to catch that from my vantage point. So 7-0 now, and it's going to take a large uphill climb for the Stars to come back in this one now. Back-to-back strikes, that's a start. Should be 2 balls and 2 strikes, I believe. And now it's should be 3 balls and 2 strikes. I think the outfield scoreboard's behind by a pitch. Nope, it wasn't. I was ahead by a pitch. It's 3-2 now. Otherwise, he would have walked on that pitch there. So full count. Tate Hembolt. Payoff pitch on the way. Swung on and a bounce right in that gap. He's not going to make it. And a run will score, and that's it. 2 runs are going to try and score. The throw comes home. Safe. 9-0 in favor of the Brookings Bandits. As Austin Clark comes in from second, John Kaler all the way from first scores. On a very well-placed infield single that just got by the pitcher, but was too far away for the third baseman or shortstop to catch up to. And that allowed the runner to get on base, as well as earn himself 2 RBIs out of the deal. Owen Schneider is the batter now. And if Brookings can get 1 more run, they could end this via the 10-run rule. That one's going deep but high, and backtracking's Jack Gold. It's over his head, and that will end the game. Brookings is going to win via the 10-run rule here in the bottom of the 5th, and that will end the game as Jack Gould couldn't quite backpedal enough, and it went over his head. And that is your final score, 10-0. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. I don't have any fancy outro to go out with because of what happened at the start of game 1. But the Stars split with Brookings. They win the first game 9-2, and they fall in 6 innings via the 10-run rule by a 10-0 score here in 5 innings and not 6. 5 innings and not 6. Thanks so much for everything. It's awesome, and we will talk to you again tomorrow, 5:30 first pitch, when the Stars take on the Minot Vistas at home from Starry and Bank Field here on MSPN Digital